How is it going, everyone? We are in a period of time where there are a lot of big games coming out. You've got Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, Gears of War, Lost Soul Aside, Hollow Knight Silksong is coming out next week. There's a billion games. Dying Light the Beast, Ghost of Yotei in October, Digimon for the guys like me. However, some games might go a little bit under the radar, and others might have real breakout moments, and I think Bloober Team is riding off a real high off of the release of Silent Hill 2 last year. But as far as dropping a big new game, while I really did love the medium, and Observer was a really cool game, I think Kronos The New Dawn might be continuing that coming out party for them, and it's a brand new IP, a brand new survival horror title that looks incredible, and I think a lot of people have picked up on just how good this game looks over the past couple of weeks as we've gotten closer to the release of this game. I want to go over some of the general information of the game. I want to go over both of the editions that are available and some info you should know before you drop your $60 on the game. So Bloober Team is a studio that's been around for a long time. Close to a decade at this point, I believe, but really, they've gotten a lot of attention over the last year with the success of the Silent Hill 2 remake. They did do great work, again, with Observer, with the medium, but I think Kronos The New Dawn presents this opportunity for them to continue raising their profile, even more so than the Silent Hill 2 remake, since the Silent Hill 2 remake, while as good as it was an existing title that was a remake. Kronos The New Dawn, an incredibly compelling new IP, a whole new breed of survival horror is noted with Kronos The New Dawn, and it emerges. Survive the brutal wastelands of the future, fight nightmarish emerging creatures, and jump back in time to harvest souls as you seek to uncover the origins of the apocalypse that wiped out humanity. So far, the gameplay that we've seen and some of the videos that we've seen, it's Bloober Team and what they do really well, and that is setting the tone, setting that tension, and setting that atmosphere, which I think is so important for a horror game, and I felt like they did an incredible job with that in the medium and Silent Hill 2, and it looks to be continuing in Kronos The New Dawn with a bit of an action focus as well. I've seen a lot of comparisons to Dead Space, and I definitely get a bit of that vibe going on, being a brutal third-person survival horror experience where you fight for the future by salvaging the past, burn monsters before they merge, extract souls from the living, and adapt or die. Survive the future and salvage the past, set in a grim world where Eastern European brutalism meets retro-futurist technology. Kronos The New Dawn lets you experience a gripping story that straddles the line between past and future. In the past, you will witness a world in the throes of the change, a cataclysmic event that forever altered humanity. Meanwhile, in the ravaged wastelands of the future, every moment is a fight for survival against dangerous abominations that'll test both your reflexes and your tactical thinking. The main character you play is the Traveler. You're working for the enigmatic collective tasked with scouring the wastelands of the future in search of time rifts that'll transport you to 1980s era Poland. So it does have this time mechanic going on for it as well. I always feel like those are some of the more difficult narratives to execute, so we'll see how Bloober Team does with that. Adapt or perish. In a desolate world filled with ever-present danger, your survival hinges on your ability to strategize and plan ahead. The enemies you'll encounter are nightmarish creatures born from the remnants of humanity. Defeating them will require you to make full use of your arsenal. You can manipulate temporal anomalies to clear a path through the desolate environment, and you'll have to scavenge for resources to replenish your limited ammo and supplies. Good preparation is key. Once in battle, split-second decisions can meet the difference between life and death. The creatures that you fight also have this merging element to them as well. The creatures you kill won't stay dead for long. Fallen enemies can be absorbed by others through a grotesque process called the merging. If they do end up merging, they become faster, tougher, and far deadlier. The only way to stop them, burn their bodies and do it fast. Don't let them merge. If you don't, you'll face ever-evolving abominations that'll push your combat skills to their absolute limits. And a harvester of souls, your mission is to locate key people from the past who perished in the ensuing apocalypse using your all-powerful harvester. You can extract their essences and have them accompany you into the future, but be wary, these essences have a profound impact on your journey. The more you carry, the more haunted needed your suit becomes increasing your prowess on the battlefield, but also bringing with them whispers in your ear and flickers into your vision, edging you ever closer to madness. It's got an incredibly interesting narrative backdrop for the game, and based on seeing the gameplay from what we've seen out of the trailer, it does look like an incredibly polished, gruesome third-person action shooter, and you don't need something that completely reinvents the wheel. You just need something that at its core fundamentals, it is competent, and you do get that vibe that Kronos the New Dawn, based on the gameplay that we've seen, that the core fundamentals as a third-person action shooter with this interesting traversal going on as well, I think it's got a lot of potential. And again, when you couple just competent and well-polished gameplay with the tension, tone, atmosphere that Bloober Team has already shown that they've done time and time again so well, I think we're in for something that could end up being really special. And again, an incredibly compelling narrative backdrop as well. And while there is a lot of focus being put on the story and the atmosphere and the visuals and everything like that, combat is a big focus in Kronos the New Dawn, and they did a deep dive into the combat of the game and noted this: we want to make a combat experience in a surviving atmosphere where we want to put a lot of emphasis into a tactical experience for the players. We need to stay cautious and call all the time because our enemies can merge with each other. Again, that's a big aspect of the game, of when you kill an enemy, they have the opportunity to merge with another enemy, creating a bigger and more deadly abomination. It creates in a way to fuel other enemies to be absorbed and then become stronger. So yeah, it's tactical gameplay, but during the fight, you need to also think very fast. What should you do? Since we're aiming into the tactical and decision-minded approach, we're making each encounter in the game crafty, which leads to that somewhere you have your environment is your own advantage. And on the other hand, it could be a disadvantage. Sometimes you can use the canister, somewhere you can lure the enemy out into your position, or you could do it all and just go melee and fight with your enemies with your best luck. I think they are emphasizing a bit more of the tactical approach. There's no one solution on how to play the game, how you clear out areas, and so on. It depends on your playstyle, and they noted that some of the developers play in a more offensive style, some play it in a more defensive style. It all depends on your loadout, your gameplay style, and how you want to approach it, and how many resources you have at any given time. It's actually up to you how the resource management would be handled, because here, they're giving you different types of weapons, different tools, abilities, and throughout the game, you have to be by yourself and figure out what works best for you. So there is going to be a bit of a trial and error element to it as well, as far as which playstyle you like the best. Resource management is a key component of survival horror, but definitely in Kronos the New Dawn as well. It's very important on what you are doing before the fight with the resource, during the fight, and after the fight. If you're a more offensive player, you'll also have the opportunity to craft more ammunition. However, if you're a defensive player, maybe you want to craft more health packs. And of course, there is a progression tree for the player, so you can upgrade your weaponry, your tools, your suit. It's up to you on how you would like to upgrade your character that best fits your playstyle. Getting very much, again, with all of that in mind, as far as the combat layout, the Dead Space vibes are definitely there. In Kronos, they came up with different takes on the enemies, so you have different roles for them. Imagine a role of a runner whose basic goal is to run to the player and kill him as fast as it can, where a different one is like a ranger character who stands behind and shoots you and forces you to go closer to them. There are bruisers. They are big, tanky guys whose only goal is to grab as much resources as they can from you. With that idea, they created a lot of unique encounters within the game, and it's up to you to think, analyze, and decide for yourself on what would be the best target to start fighting. And again, that's where that tactical approach comes into play as well. Different things can be happening in the fight, and that is going to be happening with the different mix of enemies that'll be available as well. And there's a lot of surprises that are going to be in store with Kronos the New Dawn's combat as well. And surprises are there in the combat, but they're also going to be in the narrative as well, where the story has an incredible amount of depth to it, but it all centers around a disease that is called the Change, and that's how humanity came to an end. Travelers, who you play as a traveler, are emissaries of the mysterious collective. They travel back in time to the moment of the end of the world. They seek their targets, very important people that are needed by the collective, dive point insight, and they extract their essences. A lot of the characters that you're going to meet throughout Kronos are noted to be some way or another connected as far as the overall story is concerned. Players and the traveler are sort of on the same level when it comes to really discovering the story at the same time. And obviously in the game, they added some new buildings and new places for you to explore as a player. So the big building you see floating around in the trailers, they built it and then destroyed it again. The history runs very well with the questions they ask in the game and the themes that they tackle throughout the story. And as Kronos doesn't have the ambition to be a historical game, the level of reproduction of things is super cool, and all of that is going to play out throughout the game. I do want to note a couple of things as far as specifics. System requirements for the game. It is an Unreal Engine 5 game, which I know is always a little bit concerning when it comes to PC releases and honestly technical performance across the board these days. Bloober Team has done a pretty good job of optimizing their games in the past, so let's hope for the best out of Kronos and New Dawn, and the game will be available on the Nintendo Switch too. But as far as system requirements go, minimum you're looking at an Intel Core i5-8400F or an Intel Core i5-8600K, 16 gigs of RAM, a GTX 1080, RX 5700 XT, or an ARC A770 for minimum, and then recommended, it will be a Core i7-10700K, AMD Ryzen 5 3600X, 16 gigs of RAM, and RTX 3080, Radeon RX 6800 XT, and right now we only have 2 tiers of system requirements. Hopefully, I mean, the game's out next week, so it would be great to get a couple more tiers of system requirements. And speaking of the release date, the Deluxe Edition will be giving you the early access. So the official release date is September the 5th, but the Deluxe Edition will be giving you 48 hours of early access. Both editions of the game will be getting the pre-order bonus of 4 pistol ammo, 1 shell patch, 1000 energy, and the bonus traveler skin, but the Deluxe Edition contents, on top of giving you the early access, will give you 1 core resource, 8 handgun ammo, 3 shotgun shells, 2 shell patches, 1500 energy, 3 bonus traveler skins, digital art book, and soundtrack will be included as well. The base game is $59.99, so not a $70 game. The Deluxe Edition will be $70, so $10 premium if you do want to play the game on September the 3rd. If you're remotely into survival horror games, you should have this one on your radar. Bloober Team has been doing some great work over the past couple of years, and Kronos the New Dawn is their latest title, and it is a brand new IP. Out September the 5th, September the 3rd with the Deluxe Edition. That's going to do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. As always, sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.